Dan Ravitch, though, is an avowed multiculturalist. And in fact, when Jeffries reviewed, if you look at the Jeffries statement, he's reviewing already a multicultural curriculum. It is the comments of Jeffries about its inadequacies and so forth that is the issue, more than the idea that he's creating one or promoting one and so forth. So in a sense, New York State had already began the process on a certain level, an inadequate one, but the idea of a so-called multicultural curriculum was already there. And in a sense, the evaluation that Jeffries did along with the others was really an evaluation in terms of the inadequacy of that pre-existing curriculum, not a desire to just necessarily bring it into being, but saying, you've tried, but it's inadequate, your books are inadequate, this, this and so forth is inadequate. What am I saying here then? I say that we forget one fundamental rule, and I may be two, and that is one thing, that whites never intend to turn black folk loose from the subordinate position. You can dream and wish all you want to, and you can get caught up in all this craziness that these white folk one day are going to hand this world over to you and let you operate as equal to them. You got to be out of your mind to believe that. As Bell LaFrere says, the idea that the oppressor, because let me tell you, at the point that whites do not need us, they are going to rid themselves of us. And their need is one of subordination. There's every intention by this society to maintain the subordination of black people till time ends, or if they no longer need black people, to destroy black people. The Indian is a prime example of that. The Indian was destroyed because the Indian was of no economic value to white folk. And I say that because a lot of us think we just here because we prayed hard to Jesus. I'm telling you, we're here too because we're of economic value. The white man didn't ship us over here just to kill us, We had economic value for this man. And now, when it gets to the point where our value is greatly decreased, and it's already beginning to occur, you're dealing with what? QEA, is that what they call it? Quality Education Act. What these white folk are saying here in New Jersey is that you are not worth the investment. No, they don't need to invest in black schools. They are hiring people. I've told some group here about McGraw-Hill in Hillsdale, New Jersey, that has all of its circulation work being done in Ireland. It's the computers and stuff that do the work about the circulation of some 16 magazine is being done in Ireland on computers, and the information is sent directly to the mainframe here. They do not have to hire in New Jersey to get people to input computerized information. And this is a trend that's rapidly developing. They hire people in the Philippines and so forth. The idea is now that they can hire from around the world and they can import into this country what they need. They import now close to 1 million people a year to fill in the gaps that they need in this system. And now the idea that they're going to invest money into black people whom they've convinced cannot learn is one you better wake up to, and it's occurring right in front of your face, right here. You understand? So what am I saying here then? The idea then that we are going to be able to give our children the kind of education they need in the public schools is one that we have to disabuse ourselves of. However, I do advocate going for the whole mashugany, That's right. That's no reason to back off of it, you see. But to go for as much of it as you can get, because ultimately we should be going for the control of this nation. Yes, yeah. A part of the African-centered education is an education into how we can get so much control and influence in this nation until we can make an African-centered education occur in the public schools. Understand? Is that too much? I get this little thing here. Now, we do realize that the true African-centered education under these conditions require that the most essential portions of that education takes place outside of the public schools. What I'm warning against in particular is this idea that we think that multicultural education in the school removes our responsibility for engaging in the kind of things we're engaging here today. Or we no longer have to teach our children. What we really need to teach them, we cannot put in the public schools, and we should not put in the public schools. That's one of the reasons why I talk about economics at the same time I talk about education. Because what I'm saying is we need the money that we are giving to other people to construct and finance schools so that after our children leave these multicultural public schools, we can teach them in after-school programs, weekend programs, summer school programs, and even some private school programs that give a full education to be fully African-centered. So it becomes a matter of being flexible in using both the public schools, private schools, and cultural institutions more than anything else. Thank you very much for your time. Oh, okay.
There's one more, the sister over here.
Uh-huh.
She's a teacher in
Of course.
Whatever we call it.
No, I'm
She's part of it.
not a teacher, I'm a parent. In the school system, a very active parent. Amos, I want to ask you a question still relating to public school education. You know how I feel about it.
Yes.
With the board members that we have that are currently on the board, these folks have sold our children down the drain. Okay. How can we, as parents and as community, hold these people accountable to the education of our children, whether we voted for them or not? You know, because what is happening right now with the North Board of Education is that folks are not reading the writings on the wall. They still think that they can continue to miseducate our children. They still feel that they do not have to suffer any consequences. And in addition to the Quality Education Act, what is happening right now, I don't know if anyone read the newspaper today, what is happening is that you have 2 Republican senators who are totally against equal spending for our children in the 30 urban districts, and these folks intend not to give the money to our districts. Now, I have a problem with board members who, when they are administration in general, who, when they get the money is not spent on our children. So I can understand why folks don't want to give us money. But how can we hold these crooks, these people who are down there, accountable to the education of our children?
So that's, of course, a multi-layered problem and a very important one. I think we have to look at a number of things.